Hi everyone, I'm Kelley Coffeen, cookbook author, food consultant, and recipe developer. I've been cooking with Hatch Chili for over 30 years, and today I want to tell you a couple of exciting things that are happening in the chili world. First thing I want to show you is this new red and green blend from the Fresh Chili Company of Hatch Chili. This is what we like to call, the locals call Christmas, so it has a nice blend of both. So we're gonna be cooking with that today. Second of all, I wanna tell you about my new cookbook, which is the Big Book of Hatch Chili. This is a book that I've been working on for 3 years. It just released. It's beautiful photography. I spent a lot of time up in the field with the growers, with the processors, spent a lot of time in the kitchen, and lots of fun food photography. One of the things that's most important about this cookbook is that it has a directory right in the middle. It's the Hatch Chili Marketplace. So no matter where you live, you can purchase any of your Hatch Chili products with resources from this section. So today we're going to make Hatch Green Chile Chicken Posole, just in time for the holidays. So let's get cooking. Let me go through the ingredient list with you. We're going to saute a little bit of onion and garlic in some olive oil. To that, we will add, it calls for about 2 to 3 cups of chili. So I'm gonna probably use a jar and a half of our red and green blend from the Fresh Chili Company. And then we're gonna saute that down. To that, we're going to add some chicken stock and get that all blended nicely so those flavors are really blending. Then we're going to add our rotisserie chicken. So the reason I love this recipe is because there's lots of little shortcuts. I'm not gonna put a lot of salt in it because I am using the rotisserie chicken, and typically those have a lot of salt in them. So even if you're worried about that, then look for one that has low sodium. Then lastly, we're gonna put our hominy in, and that's really gonna bring everything together along with our spices. So we're gonna use a little cumin. We're gonna use some oregano. I like to use the Mexican oregano, I call it, because you can find it in those whole packages. But look, you can see how it's nice and full and blended. But when you crush it, you can crush it down to almost a powder, but it really does give a more pungent flavor. So I'm gonna use that. Anyway, we're gonna bring all of it together and then we're gonna serve it up. So let's get to the stove. So this is one of my favorite recipes. A girlfriend and I created at Christmas time while I was writing the book. She had a lot of family coming in, so thought we need something, a big pot of something that was hearty and really that Southwest Hatch chili flavor. So this is the beginning of that. We're gonna start with just a little bit of olive oil, about 3 tablespoons. And then with that, you can chop your garlic. I like to just grate it. So I'm gonna grate 3 little cloves of garlic. And then we're going to add, because I love lots of garlic, so you measure that to taste, okay? But to that, we're going to add some minced onion. So I'm gonna put this on medium-low because, we want that garlic to flavor that oil, but we don't want it to burn, so stay close, okay? So let that sizzle just a tiny bit. And then to that, we're gonna add our minced onion. Starting to bubble a little bit. You can see, and I can smell it. Oh, love the smell of garlic. So now we're gonna just go ahead and cook this, probably turn it up just a tiny bit, medium, and we're gonna let this cook until these onions are translucent. Probably, I would say 6 to 8 minutes. This is about 2 onions, 2 medium-sized onions. So as you can see, we've cooked the onions down. They're pretty translucent. So now it's time to add our chili. So again, the Fresh Chili Company, this is their red and green blend. Look how beautiful this is. Oh my gosh, I love it. This recipe calls for about 2 to 3 cups of chili. So depending on what your chili preference is, right, I'm gonna do probably about, each one is 16 ounces, so I'm gonna do about a jar and a half. I like lots of chili in my chicken posole. We're just gonna mix that really well. So now I can smell the onion, the garlic, this red and green hatch chili, so beautiful. So we want that blended really well. And then we're gonna go on to putting our posole together. So now I'm just gonna transfer this to my stock pot. Our chili, our onion, that garlic, oh, smells so good. So now it's time to add our chicken broth, which is the base of our recipe. You want to make sure all those flavors are really infused. To that, we're going to do our, again, rotisserie chicken, trying to make things easy during the holidays. So I'm going to add our chicken. Okay. Now the chicken broth I did about 5, you can do 5 to 7 cups. And then to that, I'm going to start adding my hominy. So I use a really large amount of hominy, and that really helps me determine what I want as far as individual servings. So I can do 7 cups, I can do 10 cups, so you all decide what you like. I really like this to be a personalized recipe for everybody during the holidays, so it's really kind of fun that way. And everybody's ends up being very custom, so you really have your own signature pot of chicken posole. So we're going to add this. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Okay. I like this consistency. Now I had used about 6 cups of broth, and I've done about 7, I'd say probably 6-7 cups of the actual hominy, and I like that consistency. But again, do your own thing. You perfect this so that it's your recipe. So we're gonna add some oregano that I've crushed with my fingers so it's really fine. And then we're also gonna add cumin. Cumin brings it all together once it starts boiling. As our posole starts to boil, this is when I like to put the spices in. So this is about a ½ teaspoon of cumin. Now I put in a little at a time, so I'll do like a 1/4. You don't need a lot, and it really pulls it together and gives you this amazing flavor. So I'll put about a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin in, and then just a couple of pinches of oregano. Okay, and then I'm going to let that boil for a few minutes, and then I'm going to let it cool, and then I'm going to taste it. And if I decide I need more spices, I'll put in more spices. Okay, so I've let it boil for about 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and taste it. For me, I would put a little more cumin in, so I'm going to put the rest of the cumin in. So that means we're at like a ½ teaspoon. which honestly is not a lot, but it adds a lot of flavor. So I think we're ready to serve. So let me serve this up. I'm just gonna garnish it the way I like to garnish it. I like to put a little bit of fresh cilantro on top. I love having a little bit of a few radishes. I love the fresh lime, gives it a nice little citrusy flavor, and then a little bit of onion on top. And there you go. So here it is, my Hatch Chile Chicken Posole. So good, perfect for this time of year. You can make it for family, for entertaining. You can make it and put it in the freezer when you're ready for it. Take it out and warm it up. So enjoy. I'm going to. So good. Red chili, green chili. We've got the blend from the Fresh Chili Company. Oh, I can taste that chili. It's so good. A little bit of garnish, and voila, you have the perfect bowl of goodness. And you can find that bowl of goodness on page 165 in the big book of Hatch Chili.